In this video, we're just going to take a few minutes to remind ourselves about how to multiply binomials. Now, the prefix bi means two, so we are looking at polynomials that each have two terms. So notice the x and the 8, there's two terms. The x and the -5, there's two terms. So we have two polynomials, we have two terms. And so what we're going to do now is we are going to multiply those. So I have to have a way to remind myself to multiply every pair of terms. All we're doing is using the distributive property repeatedly, but we like to have something that's on the top of our mind. So we have this nice little word, FOIL, F-O-I-L. And what this stands for is the F stands for our firsts, the O stands for our outers, and the I stands for our inners, and L stands for our lasts. And so that just gives us a way to remember to multiply every pair so that I don't forget anything. So with the two binomials x plus 8 and x minus 5, here we go. We're going to multiply these two things together. So my firsts, the x and the 8, the x and the x, those are our firsts. And so x times x is x squared. My outers, x and -5. Those are my outers. Always remember that the sign goes with the number that is directly behind it. So that is a positive x times a -5, so a -5x. My inners, I have positive 8 times the x. These are my inners. So 8 times x is positive or plus 8x. And finally, my lasts. Each of the binomial has a last. That is the positive 8 and the -5. And positive 8 times -5 is -40. If you struggle with integers, you can go up a couple modules in the student math community and find some review about multiplying and dividing integers and the rules for signs. I have one more step in this particular problem. I notice after I've multiplied my four pairs of terms, I have like terms here in the middle. Doesn't always happen, but it happens on this particular problem, so I am going to combine them. So the x squared has no like term. -5x plus 8x is plus 3x. There's a module in the student math community to remind you how to combine like terms if that is unfamiliar to you. And then the -40 stands alone. So there is my finished product. It is a trinomial because there are three terms. I'm going to advance to the next slide. I've got two examples here. What I'd like you to do is pause the video and take a try at doing these two problems on a piece of notepaper or on a whiteboard or some other way to write this down. And pause now and then push play and we'll pick this up. So here goes. I'm going to apply the FOIL, first, outers, inners, lasts, to each of these two problems. So here goes. For this first problem, my firsts are y squared and y. And so when I have y squared times another y, that gives me y to the third power. My outers are y squared times 7. And so that is a plus 7y squared. My inners are a 4 times the y, so that's plus 4y. And then last but not least, 4 times 7, my lasts are plus 28. Notice on this particular problem that unlike the last one, there are no like terms, so that is finished. I have a polynomial with 4 terms. Always remember, if you make a mistake, don't beat yourself up, don't say bad things about yourself, just use it as an opportunity to learn. Here's the second example, and then we'll finish up this video. Again, my first, outers, inners, lasts. My firsts are going to be 2m times 6m. That is going to be 12m squared. Then my outers, 2m times 4n. So be careful with the different letters here. 2 times 4 is 8. And then I have m and n. A common question is, Does it matter what order I put those letters in? And the answer is no. I prefer alphabetical order, but if you write 8nm, that's perfectly fine as well. My inners are the negative 5n times the 6m, so a negative times a positive is a negative 30mn. And then last but not least, once again, we have our lasts. Negative 5n times positive 4n. Negative 5 times positive 4 is negative 20. And I have n squared. Like the first problem, we do have a pair of like terms here right in the middle. So I'm not done until I combine those like terms. So the 12m squared, that stands alone. I have 8 minus 30, that is a negative or a minus 22mn. And then finally the last term, minus 20n squared. And there's a quick review of multiplying two binomials. Below this video, you will see some links to some worksheets. Print them out, do lots of practice, and be sure to post any questions that you have in the student math community.